The Generals of the Yang Family, Chapter 13.
And honestly, this isn't just an old war story.
No, it's not. It's a masterclass in psychology and crisis management, and it's the explosive debut of one of the most famous families in all of literature.
We're going to see a commander whose ego leads him straight into the oldest trick in the book.
And then we'll see a ruthlessly efficient corporate restructuring, let's call it, by an empress. And of course, we're going to meet the Tiger Generals themselves.
So let's set the stage. We're in the Northern Song Dynasty.
Right.
The big conflict is between the Song Empire and the Liao Empire up north.
Right.
We're at a city called Sucheng. The Song forces are inside. They're badly outnumbered. The Liao army, the invaders, are right outside the gates.
And the Song commander knows he can't win a straight-up fight, not yet. So he makes a wild gamble. He orders the west gate opened.
It's a move born of, pure desperation.
Oh, absolutely.
But the Liao commander, a guy named Han Guangxi, he doesn't hesitate. He looks at that open gate, and he doesn't see a trap.
He sees a welcome mat.
A welcome mat.
And this is just a classic case of confirmation bias. Han Guangxi is under pressure to get a quick victory. He wants the city to be empty, so his brain just interprets the open gate as proof.
He's filtering out all the risk because the reward is so tempting.
But he's not alone, and this is where it gets really interesting. He has an officer with him, a man named Liu Xianggu.
And Liu is not seeing things the same way.
Not at all. Liu is the skeptic. Every good team needs one. While his commander is focused on the prize, Liu is looking at the details. He's scanning the shadows inside the gate.
And he spots something.
Yeah, the text says he sees the glint of weapons.
Just a flicker of light.
That's all it takes. That one tiny detail just shatters the whole illusion. An empty city doesn't have soldiers hiding in the alleyways. He knows instantly this isn't a surrender.
A kill box.
It's a kill box. So he tries to stop it. He tells Commander Han, Sir, do not underestimate them. We need to back out right now.
And for a second, it seems like it might work. The source says the commander has a sudden realization.
But a sudden realization when you're already halfway across the drawbridge is usually too little, too late.
The moment the Liao troops hesitate, the trap springs.
And the description of this ambush is incredible because of the tech they use.
Right. The text mentions cannons firing. Now, hold on. This is the 10th century. Are we really talking about cannons?
That's a great question. We're not talking about, pirate ship cannons. But the Song Dynasty was when gunpowder really hit the battlefield in a big way. The term probably refers to things like thunder crash bombs.
The catapults launching explosives.
Exactly. And the key isn't just the explosion itself, it's the sound. The text says it was like heaven collapsing and earth splitting.
Just imagine that. You're in a narrow street, you think it's deserted, and then the whole world just explodes.
It's total sensory overload. It's meant to cause immediate panic, to just shatter the chain of command. The gate slams shut, bridges get pulled up, and the Song General Li Hongkong charges out.
And this is where we really see the character of the Liao leadership. Commander Han, the guy who is so arrogant.
Yeah.
He just turns his horse and runs, abandons his own army.
He completely abdicates all responsibility. It's shocking.
But the skeptic, Liu Xianggu, the one who tried to warn him,
He stays.
he stays.
This is the absolute tragedy of the competent subordinate. Liu knows that if someone doesn't buy them time, the entire army is going to get slaughtered. So he sacrifices himself. He turns to fight Li Hongkong just to give his incompetent boss a few seconds to escape.
And it's not some glorious, drawn-out duel.
No, it's quick and it's brutal. The text is very clear. Li Hongkong splits Liu Xianggu right down the middle with his blade. It's a horrific end for the only guy who knew what was going on.
So the smart guy dies a horrible death, and the incompetent boss gets away.
Well, for now.
Right. Because he might be running from the Song army, but he's running towards something much, much scarier.
He has to go report back to the Liao capital.
Yeah, who's waiting for him there?
Empress Dowager Xiao. And she is a titan of history. I mean, she basically ran the Liao dynasty. She is not the kind of person who accepts we had some bad luck as an answer.
So when the remains of the army limp back home, she holds what is basically a corporate tribunal.
And she's smart about it. She doesn't just start shouting, she investigates. She calls over the one general who actually kept his cool during the fight, a man named Yelu Shav.
We haven't mentioned him much, but he's the guy who was holding the center line while everyone else was either running or dying.
He's the professional. The Empress asks him, point blank, we had more soldiers, we had the better position. Why did we lose to a weaker enemy?
And Zhu tells her the truth. He says it was a trap.
Then she asks the question every middle manager dreads. Well, why didn't you advise the commander?
And his answer is, maybe the most relatable thing in this whole story. He says, I did, but he thought I was overthinking it. He said I was being too cautious.
He thought I was overthinking it. I mean, how many times have we heard that after a project goes wrong?
It's the universal defense of the ignored expert. The Empress buys it. She turns to Commander Han Kuangzi and orders him to be beheaded on the spot.
No messing around.
0.
It's strict accountability. His arrogance costs them thousands of lives, so he pays the price. But then you see a little bit of court politics kick in.
Another general, Ye Sha, steps forward.
Right, and he begs for mercy. He reminds the Empress that Han served the late Emperor loyally for years, the whole old boys club thing.
So she just lets him off?
Not quite. She spares his life, probably to keep the nobles happy, but she strips him of everything. His rank, his titles, his command. He's a commoner now. Fired.
But here's the brilliant part of her leadership.
Yes. She doesn't just punish failure, she rewards competence. She takes Ye Shuj, the guy everyone ignored, and promotes him to commander-in-chief.
Wow.
And she gives him 100,000 elite troops and tells him basically, go fix this mess.
So the Song think they've just won this huge victory?
But all they've really done is wake a sleeping giant. They traded a foolish, arrogant enemy for a smart, motivated one.
Okay, so let's cut back to Xicheng. The Song army is celebrating, but then the scouts come back with reports. The Liao are back, and they have 100,000 men.
And this time, they're led by Ye Shuj. The Song general, Lu Ting'an, knows he's in serious trouble. He knows Yuge isn't going to fall for any open gate tricks.
So he does the smart thing. He locks the gates for real this time, and sends a desperate message to the Song capital for reinforcements.
And this request makes its way all the way to the Emperor's throne. He needs a hero. He needs a miracle worker.
And one of his advisors steps up and says a name. A general who is very eager to prove his loyalty.
And this is the moment the whole story changes. They call for Yang Ye.
The Tiger General.
The source calls him the peerless hero, the tiger of the world. But you have to understand who he was. Yang Ye wasn't originally a Song general. He fought for a rival state, the Northern Han.
So he's surrendered to the Song. He's technically a defector.
Exactly. He has this massive chip on his shoulder. He feels like he has to prove his loyalty more than anyone else in the army.
And he brings his family into the business. He doesn't just go alone, he brings his sons. The text says he leaves his eldest son to manage the reserves.
But he takes his fifth son, Yang Yande, and his sixth son, Yang Yansao, right to the front.
And in the legends, these two are the heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah. The sixth son, Yansao, he's the cool, disciplined spearman, the perfect warrior. The fifth son, Yande, he's the brawler, he's the wild card.
So the Tigers arrive. The Song garrison is hugely relieved. But the Liao army is already there, lined up and waiting. Out rides a general named Ye Sha.
The description they give him is wild. Dark face, blue lips, huge eyes. He's meant to look like some kind of monster.
And he rides out yelling, demanding to know who dares face him.
He wants names. It's a classic intimidation tactic.
But Yang Ye doesn't give him his name. He gives him an insult. He shouts back, "You barely escaped with your life last time, and now you dare ask my name."
It's such a great power move. He's immediately framing Ye Sha as a coward who ran away. It completely disrupts their confidence before a single sword is drawn.
The talking is over. The Liao send out their first champion, a general named Liu Haida.
And this is where we see the Yang family's tactics. Yang Ye sends out his fifth son, Yande. Now, most generals on horseback would use a spear or a glaive, something with reach.
Right.
Yande rides out with a giant battle axe.
That seems like a strange choice for fighting on a horse.
It's heavy, it's cumbersome, but it has incredible armor-breaking power. It sends a message, I'm not here to fence, I'm here to crush you.
So they charge. The text says they fight for 7 rounds back and forth, but then Yande does something that looks like a huge mistake. He turns his horse and runs.
The feigned retreat, it is one of the hardest things to pull off in battle. You have to make it look real. You have to look like you're genuinely terrified.
And the Liao general, Liu Haida, he falls for it completely. Hook, line, and sinker. He thinks, the kid's scared, I've got him.
He chases him down. The source says their horses were nose to tail. That's how close he gets.
Which is exactly where Yande wants it.
It's the perfect setup. When the enemy is charging forward like that, all their defenses are open.
And then wham! Yande, without even turning around, just twists his body and swings the axe backward over his shoulder.
A blind swing. It's all timing and instinct. And the result is just devastating. He splits Liu Haida's helmet and head clean off his shoulders.
One hit.
A single shocking moment of violence. The Liao are stunned. But another of their generals, Ye Sheng, sees his friend die, and he just loses it.
He charges out screaming for revenge.
Which is a mistake. He's fighting on pure emotion now. He's angry, and anger makes you sloppy.
And he runs right into the sixth son, Yang Yanzhao, the spearmaster.
And you see the contrast immediately. The axe was brute force and a clever trick. The spear is pure precision. Ye Lusheng is just swinging wildly. Yanzhao waits for his opening.
One thrust.
One clean thrust, and he stabs Sheng right off his horse.
2 duels, 2 dead Liao champions. Just like that.
And that's the breaking point for the Liao army. You can handle a stalemate, but watching your best fighters get dismantled that easily, it just shatters morale.
Yang Yi sees the panic setting in, and he orders the general charge. The text says he rode through them like entering an uninhabited land.
It's a total rout. The Song forces from the city charge out and hit the Liao flank. It's a perfect pincer movement, and the Liao army just collapses. They run for a place called Wakyu Pass.
So victory. The Yangs save the day, roll the credits, but that's not where the chapter ends.
No. And this right here is the most critical part of the whole story. The battle is won, but the campaign isn't over.
Yang Ye is on a high. He's full of adrenaline. He turns to the other Song general, Lu Tingyan, and says, "The iron is hot. We have to chase them down now and wipe them out at Wakio Pass."
He's arguing for what military strategists call exploitation. Use your momentum to achieve total victory. Speed is the way of victory, he says.
But Lu Tingyan, who's the cautious one, the guy who's been holding down the fort this whole time, he basically grabs Yang Yi's arm and says, "Wait, hold on."
Their commander is Ye Lusheng.
The competent one, the one the Empress promoted.
Right. Lu says, this guy is smart and he's brave. Even in retreat, he is dangerous. We should rest our men, we should plan, we should be careful.
And this is that eternal debate, isn't it? Momentum versus caution.
It is. Yang Yi looks at the running Liao army and sees a broken mob. Lu Tingyan looks at the same army and sees a wounded tiger being led by a genius.
And Yang Ye, with the fresh victory and his reputation, he wins the argument. He basically tells Lu not to worry about it and orders the army to march on Wakao Pass. Okay, let's shift scenes. Imagine for a second that you're a soldier, you've been trained, you've got your armor on, holding a spear. You feel pretty tough.
Sure.
But then you hear who you're about to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the description people use, it's not a tough battle or a meat grinder. The phrase in the source material we're looking at is that this family fighting is like cutting melons and chopping vegetables.
It is such a visceral image, isn't it? It's not about combat, it's food prep.
Exactly. It implies you, the enemy, are the vegetable. You're not even a combatant, you're just produce waiting to be sliced.
And that reputation belongs to the Yang family.
We're heading to the freezing cold northern border to a place called Wakye Pass to see if that reputation is actually earned.
And what I love about this part of the story is that it's not just a brawl. We're not just watching people hit each other with swords. This is a masterclass in what I'd call tactical geography.
Reading the land better than your opponent.
Exactly. And maybe more importantly, it's about the psychology of reputation. How does a reputation for being invincible actually change how an enemy fights you?
Okay, so set the board for us. Where are we and who's staring down who?
We're at Wakio Pass, a critical strategic choke point. It's a border conflict between the Song dynasty forces, that's Yang Ye's side, and the Liao dynasty.
And right away, the dynamic is interesting. Usually the legendary general is the one defending the castle.
Yes, but here Yang Ye is the attacker. And, well, it's not going well.
At all.
Not at all. You have the Liao generals, Ye Lixiege and Ye Lishez. And I want to be clear, these are not incompetent men.
No, these are seasoned commanders.
And they look across the field, they see Yang Ye and his sons, and they make a very specific calculation. They decide, we are not fighting that guy.
They just ghost him.
Essentially. They initiate what gamers might call a turtle strategy. The text says they decide to defend firmly, do not go out.
Because if they meet him in the open field,
they get chopped like melons, so they stay behind their high walls. They're banking on logistics. Let's just wait for the Song army to run out of food.
Which is incredibly frustrating. The source says the Song forces have been attacking for over 10 days with zero success.
Nothing, just arrows and stones raining down on them.
Think about the psychology of that. You're a Song soldier. It's winter. You march up, get rocks thrown at your head, and march back.
Morale is tanking, and Yang Ye knows he's on a clock. Every day he sits there, his food supplies are just dwindling.
How do you break an unbreakable siege when the enemy just refuses to come out and play?
The answer, it seems, starts with getting your boots dirty. Because Yang Yi doesn't just sit in his command tent looking at maps.
Right, the text says he rides out personally. Which seems risky for the commander-in-chief. Why not just send a scout?
Because a scout sees terrain, a general sees opportunity, he takes a few dozen cavalry and rides out to look with his own eyes. And because he goes himself, he notices details a map might miss.
Okay, let's visualize what he sees. Break it down.
Okay, so picture the pass. To the left, Yang Ye sees a long, grassy ridge. Now, you have to keep the season in mind. The text specifically mentions the north wind and cold winter weather.
So the grass isn't green.
Exactly. It's withered, dry, yellow grass. It's basically kindling. And Yang Ye identifies this as the location of the Liao food storage.
Okay, target number 1. A tinderbox full of food. What's on the other side?
To the right, he sees the Blackwater River, the Heishui, and the Liao troops are camped right on the bank. So he has a target, the food, and a terrain feature, the river.
So he goes back to camp, talks with his colleague Liu Tingen. He's putting 2 and 2 together. North wind, dry grass.
He wants a fire attack.
It's classic Sun Tzu, right? Attack their supplies.
If you burn the food, the turtle has to come out of its shell. But here's the problem. It's a big one. You can't just walk up to the enemy's food supply with a torch.
Because they're watching. Yin Lu Xiuji's up on those walls.
Of course. If the Song army marches toward the ridge, the Liao will see it a mile away. They'll rain arrows down or send out a blocking force. Yang Yi needs a secret route.
And this is where the local intel part comes in, which I love. He doesn't interrogate a prisoner. He brings in a local village elder.
Human Intelligence 101, you treat the locals well, he gives the man wine and food, builds rapport, and then he asks a very simple question.
Is there a small path on the left side of the pass? He's fishing for a back door.
He is, but the elder's answer, on the surface, it sounds like bad news. He says, well, there's a woodcutter's path, but it's completely blocked.
Right. Piled with wooden stones. Impassable.
Now, most commanders might hear it's blocked and think, okay, damn, plan B. But Yang Yi hears it's blocked and he gets excited.
Why? Why is a blocked path good news?
Because of why it's blocked. Why would an army spend precious time and energy hauling rocks to block a tiny woodcutter's path?
Because they know it leads somewhere important.
Precisely. The blockage confirms the vulnerability. It tells Yang Ye, we are terrified you will find this path because it leads straight to our granary.
It's a neon sign saying secret weakness here.
Exactly. So the blockage confirms the plan, but now comes the execution. And this is where we get into this complex, three-pronged ploy. It's like a heist movie.
It really is. So let's break it down. Prong 1 is the stealth team, led by Yang Yande.
Right. Yang Ye orders him to take 5,000 infantry. But the instruction he gives them is it's wild. He orders them to shed military dress.
Take off their armor in the middle of a war.
Think about the physics of it. They have to sneak through a blocked path, climbing over wood and stone in the dead of night. If you're wearing lamellar armor or chainmail,
Marching band.
you are so loud,
Yeah.
flanking, screaming. So he strips them down. They're defenseless in a fight, but they're silent. They are the saboteurs.
That is an incredible risk. If they're caught, they're slaughtered.
High risk, high reward.
No
That's
thought.
the hidden dagger. Now, prong 2 is the bait, the distraction. This one falls to his son, Yang Yanzhao.
And his orders are to take 5,000 cavalry and cross the Blackwater River, but at a very specific time.
At twilight. The timing is key. It reduces visibility, adds to the confusion, but it's still light enough for them to be seen.
Okay, pause here. Why is this the bait? Why does he want them to attack his son in the river?
Because crossing a river is the single most vulnerable moment for any army. Ever. You're slow, you're in the mud, you can't use your weapons well. It's a kill zone.
So Yang Ye is basically serving his son up on a silver platter.
He's counting on the Liao generals knowing their tactics. He knows they won't be able to resist an opportunity like that.
So Yan Zhao's orders are, go into the water, wait for the attack, and then run.
Avoid defeat, pretend to panic, run back to the shore you came from. Do not fight, just lure them out.
And then prong 3 is the hammer.
Yes, Liu Tingham and another general, Kui Yanjin, they are the ambush force, hiding in the dark. Once Yan Zhao lures the enemy across, they strike.
And the signal for all this synchronized chaos.
The fire. When the sky turns red behind the pass, everyone commits.
The trap is set. So let's shift to the Liao camp. They're feeling pretty safe. And then spies come running in.
Yep. They tell General Yilu Xijin that the Song army is moving to cross the Blackwater.
And here is the fatal flaw. The hubris.
Yilu Xijin hears this. He knows Yang Ye is supposed to be a genius, but he looks at the move crossing a river at twilight right in front of him, and it just looks amateur.
It looks desperate.
It does. And Yelu Shizhen laughs. He literally laughs out loud. He says, people say Yang Ye is good at using soldiers, but it's just empty fame.
Empty fame, that's a dangerous thing to say about this guy.
It is. He thinks the legend is just hype. He thinks, I've got him. He assumes Yang Ye made a rookie error. So he sends Yelu Gao with 5,000 elite troops to attack. He falls for it completely.
So, back to the river. Twilight. Yan Zhao's troops are wading in carrying earth bags.
Probably to help with footing in the mud, but they don't even get to use them. Just as predicted, before they're halfway across, Yelu Gao attacks.
And Yan Zhao has to sell this performance.
He has to make it look like real panic. If it looks too orderly, the enemy gets suspicious. He turns his cavalry around and flees back to the south bank.
And this is where discipline breaks down for the Liao. They see the enemy running, they get greedy.
And bloodlust takes over. It's a real phenomenon. They see the enemy's back, and their brains switch from caution to predator. They plunge into the water to chase them.
So now the Liao elites are in the kill zone.
They're across the river, on the Song side, disorganized, wet, freezing, chasing a fleeing enemy. They've totally abandoned their defensive position.
And then the cannon fires.
The trap springs. Lu Tingyan's forces burst out of ambush and smash into the Liao troops. It is a slaughter.
But the Liao have other generals.
Yeah.
Yilu Sha and Han Shim try to counterattack the Song camp.
They do, and it's a fierce fight. The text says shouting like thunder. But while everyone is looking at the river and the camp, nobody is looking at the ridge.
The stealth team.
Yeah.
Yang Yande.
He's made it. They cleared the path, moved the stones, and climbed up the back way. They're standing right next to the Liao food stores. And remember the weather.
The north wind is high.
They light the fires, and suddenly the source says the sky is filled with red flames.
I just want to pause on the psychology of that.
Yeah.
You're a Liao soldier, you're fighting at the river, and you turn around and see your own base, your food, your safety burning.
It is total psychological collapse. In warfare, being encircled is the ultimate fear. When you see fire behind you, you realize there is no retreat. It's over.
So what about the route? Yelu Gao, the guy who led the charge.
He sees the fire. He realizes he's been played. He tries to run back, but Lu Tingen catches him. The text is brutal. He cuts him down right there in the water.
And the other Liao generals.
Yelu Sha realizes it's a trap, but it's too late. And now Yan Zhao, who's pretending to run away, he turns his horse around.
The bait becomes the hammer.
Exactly.
Huh.
Lu Tingen pushing from the front, Yan Zhao from the back. The Liao forces are crushed between them.
And the head honchos. Yeli Shijich and Yeli Shizhen. The guys who are laughing.
They stop laughing. They realize the position is lost. They abandon Waqiu Pass and flee to Jizu. Song forces take the pass. A complete victory.
So, victory achieved. But this next part, this is where the story gets really profound for me. This is my favorite part of the source.
You're talking about the strategic pause.
Yes. It's the next morning. The smoke is still rising. Yang Ye is pumped. He says, let's use this momentum. Let's attack Yan City.
Which is a very natural instinct. There's this concept in Chinese strategy called breaking bamboo.
Yeah.
Once you get past that first tough knot, the blade just slides. He feels like he has that momentum.
But Lu Tingen, the guy who led the ambush, he steps in. He's the voice of reason.
He is. He points out a boring but deadly reality, logistics. He says, yes, your fame is great, the enemy is scared, but our provisions are not continuous.
We don't have enough food coming in.
Exactly. The supply lines haven't caught up. If they push deeper into enemy territory now, they could end up just like the Liao, trapped and starving.
And Yang Yi listens.
He listens. And that's what separates a good general from a dead one. It is so easy to let ego drive you off a cliff after a big win. But he agrees to stop. They secure the win rather than gambling it.
That balance, the boldness to strip armor off your men for a sneak attack, and the caution to stop when the spreadsheet says no food, that's rare.
Very rare.
So before we wrap, we have to look at the reaction from the very top. Because the losing generals have to go explain this disaster to their boss.
And their boss is the Empress Dowager Shao. A massive historical figure, the real power behind the Liao throne.
Yelu Shizhen is furious, wants a rematch.
He's embarrassed. He's the one who called Yang Ye empty fame. Now he looks like a fool, but Yelu Shizhen says, no, we're beaten, we need help, so they write to the Empress.
And when she asks who beat them this badly, and they say Yang Ye, I expected her to be angry.
But she isn't angry they lost. She's realistic. Her reaction is so telling. She hears the name and says, I've heard of this old man, Yang Wudi Peerless Yang. The name is not emptily transmitted.
A direct contradiction to what her general said. He called it empty fame. The Empress says, no, the rumors are true.
She respects the reality of the threat, and because she respects him, she doesn't send a token force. She dispatches General Yelushidi with 50,000 troops.
50,000. That is a massive escalation.
It absolutely is. It shows that by winning this battle so decisively, Yang Yi has attracted the full attention of the Liao state.